personal protection, wear your masks, have your temperature tested, health barcode scanned, and keep social distancing, and get vaccinated and booster doses at an early date. Today we will focus on the employment of university students and the return to hometowns of university students. We have with us DDG Liu Peijun from the Sports, Health and Art Department of Ministry of Education, DDG Wu Aihua from the Students Department of Ministry of Education, and DDG He Qinghua from the Disease Control Bureau of National Health Commission to jointly take your questions. Now the floor is open for questions. Please identify yourself before you ask questions.
第一个问题，我们先来请右侧区第二排可播道第一位记者。
谢谢主持人，我是中国教育电视台记者。目前正值全国高校毕业生的就业季，在当前的全国疫情防控形势逐渐向好，但是有部分地区仍然有新的疫情发生。我想请问随着我们疫情形势的变化和防控政策的优化，高校是否可以邀请用人单位进校开展校园招聘活动呢？
invite employers to come into campus and recruit students. I'd like to invite Mr. Liu Peijun to take the question. I'd like to thank China Education TV for your question. Your interest on the campus recruitment at present. It is a critical period for the commencement of university graduates. The Ministry of Education has implemented the deployment by the State Council and the Central Party Committee in guiding localities to balance the university students' commencement and job seeking and the pandemic control. It's fair to say that this is the priority of the entire education system, as it hinges on the first step of their career of each university student. It also bears on the economic development, people's livelihood, and social stability. According to years of experience on campus recruitment is a major channel for university students to seek jobs. Since the pandemic control in our country is towards the better, with major progress in pandemic control in many localities, this has been a solid foundation for universities to open their doors and to have the campus recruitment. That's why the Ministry of Education, on the basis of in-depth and timely survey with the National Health Commission and other departments, have decided on our policies to minimize the impact of the pandemic and to create an enabling environment to facilitate campus recruitment. On the 14th of June, the Interagency Task Force of the State Council has put forward a specific requirement to optimize supporting policies for campus recruitment. The overall goal is to stably promote the campus recruitment so that university graduates will have full access to high-quality jobs. In principle, for the regions hit by the pandemic, if there is no community transmission for the past 7 days in the city where the university is located, then the university can open their gates to have the campus recruitment. For the regions not affected by the pandemic, universities are required to proactively engage in campus recruitment. Universities are required to proactively approach employers so that these organizations will come to campus and have the thematic recruitment. And also we request the employers to be active. Fourth, we ask for multi-sectoral support. Interagency task force in different localities and relevant departments will give a holistic guidance to the campus recruitment so as to support safe and orderly organization of campus recruitment by dealing with the pandemic risks, prominent issues, and pronounced difficulties. It's fair to say, As the universities are in the commencement season, the policy orientation of the students' commencement jobs is very clear. That is, we must ensure a balance between the pandemic control and the campus recruitment so as to facilitate the full access of university graduates to high-quality jobs.
谢谢主持人。总台央视记者提问：近日，国务院办公厅印发了关于进一步做好高校毕业生等青年就业、创业工作的通知。那么，请介绍一下，在这份文件当中，关于促进毕业生就业的有哪些主要的政策举措？谢谢。
好，我们请吴爱华先生来回答这个问题。
好，谢谢记者的提问。5月份呢，国务院办公厅发布了一个关于做好大学生等青年群体就业的通知，提出了20条的政策措施。那么，这个对做好2022届的毕业生就业工作和今后一段时间的就业工作都是具有重要的意义。我从教育系统的角度，主要介绍文件的5个着力点。一个呢，是致力于岗位的拓展。中小微企业是我们毕业生就业的一个重要的渠道。文件提出来要支持中小微企业更多吸纳毕业生就业，给予一次性的吸纳就业补贴、社会保险补贴、税费减免等扶持政策。同时呢，支持毕业生自主创业，给予创业担保贷款及提息、税费减免的政策。另外，对于毕业年度的灵活就业的毕业生，给予社保补贴。同时，今年还将继续稳定扩大国有企业的招聘规模，这是第一个方面。二是致力于基层就业，基层是引导毕业生就业的重要方向。文件首次提出，社区专职工作岗位出现空缺，要优先招用或者拿出一定数量专门招用高校毕业生。对于到中西部地区、艰苦边缘地区、县以下基层事业单位正式工作的高校毕业生，给予学费补偿和国家助学贷款代偿。文件还规定，招聘为事业单位的正式的工作人员可以按规定提前转正定级。第三个方面是致力于便利求职。国办的文件明确提出来，毕业生6个月之内已经体检的，用人单位原则上不得要求重复体检，除了法律规定的以外。那么这缔结了毕业生求职中常常不要求重复体检的问题，也保证了学生的健康权益。文件还提出要简化就业手续。从2023年起，取消高校毕业生就业报到证，不再将报到证作为毕业生录用、入户、档案转接的手续的必要材料。第四个方面是致力于应对疫情。文件呢提出了多项的阶段性的政策措施，在助学贷款减负政策方面，免除今年应偿还的国家助学贷款利息，本金可以申请延长1年偿还。今年的应届生和往届生都可以享受这项政策，共惠及400多万人。此外，对于因疫情延迟离校的毕业生，延长报到入职、档案转递、落户办理的时限。文件第5个方面致力于加强对学生的就业指导，要健全学生的生涯规划与就业指导体系，按一定比例配齐配强就业指导教师，引导毕业生树立正确的职业观、就业观和择业观，实现。另外呢，文件提出了要实施中央彩票公益金的横支驻行计划，那么这个计划呢也已经实施了2年，特别是面向就业困难的群体，要加强就业能力的培训。那么我们也衷心希望各地各个部门，还有各个高校，明星聚力加快把国办的这个文件各项政策能够落实下去，努力的促进高校毕业生更加充分、更高质量的就业。
好，谢谢，请继续提问。好，先来请左侧区第4排第2位凤凰卫视的记者。
谢谢主持人，我是凤凰卫视记者。之前也提到了，目前是已经临近毕业生离校的时期。那但是还有部分的毕业生还没有落实就业的去向。请问教育系统将如何持续的帮助这些没有就业的毕业生来给他们一些指引呢？谢谢。
graduate students.
Mr. Wu Aihua,
thank you
for your question. Before the graduate students leaving the university, we believe this is the critical and sprint period. Currently, we are mapping out a so-called 100-day sprint activity from fivefold, including launch a host of recruitment and visit the enterprises on site to expand job opportunities and introduce enterprises into the campus and guide the employment and targeted support. We also provide the university students with the entrance examination help and faculty members recruitment grassroots projects. Because through these integrated policies, we can help the graduate to find their job as soon as early as possible. Before leaving the universities, we also organize a host of engagement activities. Since May this year, more than 10,000 such kind of on-campus job recruitment activities have been organized. And my colleague already talked about the online, on-site job recruitment activities. Each of them has its own advantages. We should also organize private companies to come to the campus and to provide job opportunities, especially to provide support to those graduate students who have not yet found their jobs, and we should give full play of the faculty members' role, especially the tutors of the students, to provide them guidance, assistance, and we should educate and nurture the graduate students to have a very calm heart and also based on the social and individual needs to find a pragmatic job. So far, some of the graduate students already left school, and there are some ongoing support to the graduate students, especially for the targeted support. We are also providing assistance for the job application formalities and also to have internship provided. Thank you.
好，来请右侧区第一排靠过道第一位穿黑色衣服的记者。
谢谢主持人。人民日报记者提问：我们注意到近1周以来，本土感染者超过800例，内蒙古、北京、上海等地疫情仍在继续。请问对目前的疫情形势应该如何研判？谢谢。
epidemic
situation is still being rampant. So how do tell situation? Thank you for your question. The general pandemic situation is being stabilized. The newly added cases is being controlled under 200. We've noticed there are some continued positive cases. Most of them are related to the cluster infections from the bars. And in recent 2 days, those infection groups numbers are being reduced gradually. But we still need to promote epidemiological survey work. And for example, in Shanghai,
we've witnessed sporadic, non-controlled personnel infections, and in Inner Mongolia, Arenhot and Chifeng. On the general trend, the infection rate is on the declining, but in some key populations, we have seen some unidentified source infection population. In Tonghua, Jilin, and Baishan City, there are some unidentified cause of the community transmission, so there are some risks still in existence. Against this backdrop, the State Council Interagency Task Force would stick to these stringent control of imported case and to avoid any resurgence from domestic society, and we should, as soon as possible, to contain the local level cluster outbreak. Thank you.
谢谢主持人。中央广播电视总台财经节目中心记者提问：暑期马上就要来临，请问教育部是如何保障高校学生返乡顺利的？怎样杜绝层层加码？那么大学生如果遇到了这种进返乡受阻的情况，应该如何反映情况，寻求帮助呢？
unnecessary restrictions added to those university students. Liu Peijun will take the question. Thank you for question. Since summer holiday is around the corner, and we've entered into the booming stage of the university graduates returning to their hometowns, and China had already issued relevant policies with solid foundation being laid. On the 3rd of June, the State Council Interagency Task Force had made adjustment according to the pandemic situation, and we have provided support to those willing students going back to their hometowns and to guarantee the healthy and safe returning to their home. And on this occasion, I want to take the opportunity to thank all the line ministries, departments, and universities, and the whole society for your kind support for the students returning to their hometown. In recent times, we have accumulated very favorable policies, mechanisms, and working experiences. The first is the implementation of 2 exemptions policies. According to the State Council's policy, for those students satisfy the preconditions, they would be exempt from centralized quarantine observation. And also for those students indeed need quarantine, their quarantine related fees would be waived. So for those students coming from universities free of pandemic situation, after more than 7 days lockdown and closed management, one student can provide 84-hour negative NAT test results. From the point-to-point closed loop returning route, then those students can be exempted from the centralized quarantine at their hometown. In the meantime, for those returning students who indeed require quarantine, and different localities should support their quarantine fees and to waive their fees, and no restrictions should be added. Secondly, the interagency also came up with 2 mechanisms. The first is the departure locality, and hometown localities had these point-to-point, province-to-province connection system.
特别是要
They
求
will
返
share
乡
the
地要保
information
证
of the
学生
students. In
隔
particular,
离期间的食
the
宿条
place
件，
of
满足学
destination
生
must
生
ensure
活、
the
就
food
医
and
等必
shelter
要的需求。
accommodations
二是
to
从
meet the
校门
needs
到
of
家
the
门
students
省
for seeking
校
medical
省的
advices,
应
their
急协
life
调机
and
制。
their study. And there
出发
will
地
be
和返乡地
province to
联防联
school
控
to
机制和学
province
校所在高
emergency
校三
coordination
方建立
mechanism.
联络，
There will be
实
the
时调度
contacts
协调
established
解决学
between
生
place of
返乡途
departure,
中遇到
place
的
of
特殊情况。
destination, and the
第
universities
三
to
是
learn
畅通了
about
学生
the
反映
difficulties
诉求
met
的
by
两
the
个渠道。
students on their way back
学生在
home.
离校返乡途中
Third,
如果遇到
there
问
must
题
be
和有特殊需求
smooth channels
可以
of
向两个
communication.
主要的渠道
Once
反映
student
情况。
encounters
一是
any
可以向
difficulty,
本人
they
所
can
在学
report
校
and share their
学生
difficulties
工作部
to
门
their
或者自己的老
tutors,
师反映情况。
head
有学
teachers
校
in
通
their
过机制
schools.
来反映给
And
当地
schools can
出发
then
地或者返乡地
report the
这个联防联
situation
控机制
to the
来解决
interagency
学
task
生的特殊
force
需求。
agencies
二是
in
可以向
the place
各
of
地联防
departure
联控
or
机制
place
公
of
开的咨询
destination.
电话反映情况。
Besides, there is also an open
国务院联
hotline,
防联控机制的政策还特
and
别强
students
调，
can dial
就
in the
没有疫
hotline
情的地
number.
区，
We'd like to
高校
emphasize
学生离
that
校返
for
乡的
regions unaffected
落
by
实
the
属地
pandemic,
常态化的疫情
when
防控措
university
施。
students go back to their
同时
hometowns,
就各地
they
各
just
校要
follow
充
the
分尊
pandemic
重学
control
生意愿，
measures of
对
the
选择
locality.
留校的学生
Students'
在生活
willingness
上
must
做好
be
生活
respected
上。
by the universities, and for
就
those
当
who
前暑
choose
期
to
将
stay
至，
on
即将迎来
campus, there must
学生
be
离校返乡的又
guarantee
一个高峰。
of their
可
life
以说
and，
目前
study
已经
in
形成的
by the
支
campus.
持学生离校
Soon
返
it
乡
will
的
be
政
a
策、机
peak
制和经
time
验，
for students
适
going
用
back
于
home.
今年暑期学生
The
离校返
existing
乡工作。
policy
下一步，教
mechanism
育
and
部将继续
experiences
深
can
入
apply
贯彻落实国
to
务院联防
the
联控机
students
制
who
的各
will
项政
embark
策
on the
要求，
journey back
会同有
home.
关部
Going
门
ahead, the Ministry of
推进和指导
Education
各地
will work
特别是各
along
高
with
校
all
用
other
好已有的
departments
机制和
to
经验，
promote
继
localities
续
and
细化
universities to
落实
leverage
离校
existing
返乡政
mechanism and
策，特别是
experiences,
强化监督检查，
refine the
按照当
policy
前
initiatives,
国家疫情
improve
防控9不准
inspection
的
and
规定要
monitoring,
求，
and
重点
strictly
纠正，
follow
不落
the
实离校
9
返乡
forbids
政策，
of
特
the
别是
national prevention
层
and
层加
control
码限
policies,
制学生返乡的
address
不合理、
and
不
redress
合规做法，
the
严格落
illegitimate
实返乡政
and
策，
the
不留最后一公里，
incompliant
真心帮
arbitrary
助学生回
addition
家，
of
不留最后一
restrictions,
公里。可以说啊，
so
为
as to
学生顺
ensure
利返
that
乡、
we can
安全
help
回
the
家，
students
度过
to
一个健康
safely
的暑
go
期，
back to their
做出
homes and
更
have
大的努力。
a
谢
healthy
谢。
summer vacation.
好，谢谢，请继续提问。好，先来请左侧区第3排
Thank you. Next
第
question,
3位
please.
央广的记者。
好，谢谢主持人。中央广播电视总台央广记者提问。那我的问题呢，也是关于大学生就业的问题。那我们知道呢，其实今年教育部就升级上线了国家24365大学生就业服务平台。那么我想请问，那这一平台为促进高校毕业生的就业发挥了怎样的作用？谢谢。
好，我们请吴爱华先生来回答这个问题。
好，谢谢您的提问。我先解释一下24365，就是24小时365天，不算现在就业服务。那么24365大学生网络校园招聘服务呢，我们是在2020年最先提出来，当时呢也是为了应对疫情的影响，解决了毕业生无法线下求职的燃眉之急。那么今年经过升级完善，上线了国家24365大学生就业服务平台。这个平台以及3方面的功能，就是就业服务、就业指导和就业管理为一体，发挥3个方面的作用。一个呢就是全天候的就业服务，刚才我讲了。平台要提供24小时365天不打烊的就业，毕业生可以随时随地通过平台进行求职应聘。第二个呢就是全周期的支持。现在我们平台给学生提供的这个就业的模块的功能啊，包括了从就业意愿的登记、简历的制作和上传，还有岗位的查询、应聘、面试，以及到最后的网上签约，这是求职的全周期。另外呢，为用人单位提供了从信息发布，特别是我们希望有越来越多的 这用人单位在2365平台上发布岗位，岗位的发布、简历的筛选，还有面试通知、网上签约的全周期的服务。所以目前我们平台已经注册的2022届的毕业生已经有505万人，累计有54.5万的用人单位也注册使用这个平台。第三个呢是提供了全方位的资源。一个方面呢是我们就业指导的资源，平台累计上线了互联网加就业的公益直播课104期，培训课程资源118个，还有职业的案例683个，累计观看毕业生已经达到3.1亿人次。另外，更加重要的是岗位资源。现在平台通过与社会的招聘服务机构，像保持直聘、智联招聘、猎聘等等的这些机构，以及和全国各地各高校的就业平台的岗位的互联互通资源共享。目前平台上已经累计汇集的1036万个岗位资源，这是给2022届的学生到从去年9月到现在为止。那么这些岗位呢，我们都进行了查重和去重的处理，所以所有的岗位都是实打实的，而且大部分的岗位资源是最新推出的，所以我们特别希望毕业生能够用好平台的岗位资源，也欢迎更多的用人单位来注册使用发布岗位信息。那么从我们最近的抽样的调查数据来看，有31%的2022届的毕业生通过2435平台实现了就业，同比提高了7个点。那么下一步我讲的是通过这个平台找到岗位信息的这个数据。那么下一步呢，我们将持续的来拓展这个平台的就业资源，不断升级优化就业服务，也欢迎我们媒体朋友持续关注2435就业平台，积极支持平台的建设和发展。
好，谢谢，请继续提问。好，来请左侧区第一排第3位男记者。
谢谢主持人。新华社记者提问，我的问题也是关于高校毕业生就业。疫情给今年高校毕业生求职就业和校园招聘带来了不利影响。请问在疫情防控形势下，高校如何开展校园招聘活动来促进毕业生就业？谢谢。
好，我们继续请吴爱华先生来回答这个问题。
谢谢您的提问。刚才关于在校园招聘期间做好疫情防控的要求，刚才裴静同志做了介绍。我再补充一点呢，就是怎么更好的来发挥校园招聘的主渠道的作用。那么前期呢，我们教育部已经做了一些部署。现在呢，按照联防联控机制的要求，各个学校呢要尽大可能的减少疫情对高校毕业生的影响，尽快的、积极的来组织更多的校园招聘活动。那么刚才介绍了，原则上高校所在的城市7天以上，包括7天，社会面无新发疫情的就可以组织校园招聘活动。教育部已经部署全国的高校积极走出去，特别是前期我们已经开展了高校书记房企拓岗促就业的专项行动。要密切与用人单位联系，主动邀请符合条件的用人单位进校开展专场招聘活动。书记校长房企拓岗目前已经有2255所高校走访了7.7万家企业，拓展岗位呢141万个，另外还有56.6万个的实习岗位。同时，教育系统和高校要创造条件，千方百计地把用人单位请进来。我们教育部提出了万企进校园的计划，同时呢，和全国工商联开展民企高校携手促就业的行动，所以高校呢要用好这些资源，为用人单位进校招聘提供便利，办好针对性强的线下双选会、招聘会和对接会。另外，要更好地促进校企双方的对接。人才的供需对接，高校和用人单位要通过面对面的接触加强合作，鼓励校企双方参加教育部正在组织实施的供需对接 就业育人项目，特别是在人才的定向人才培养、就业的实习等方面，高校和企业加强合作，旨在实现就业与培养的有机联动，人才供给更好的对接。好，谢谢。好，谢谢，请继续提问。好，来请左侧区第2排靠过道第1位穿黑色衣服的记者。
谢谢主持人。封面新闻记者提问：参加校园招聘是高校毕业生求职应聘的主渠道。目前国家出台了校园招聘活动疫情防控政策，请问将采取哪些具体措施来保证校园招聘活动疫情防控政策的落实？谢谢。
Pandemic prevention and control policies, what specific measures being taken to guarantee the successful implementations of the on-campus recruitment? Thank you. On the 14th of June, State Council clearly distributed the circular on the on-campus recruitment. And there are packaged policies being issued, and the inspection and supervision for the implementation of those policies would be strengthened on 3 fronts. The first is to implement and highlight the pandemic prevention and control measures and policies, and to lay special focus on the inspections of the key localities, venues, key population, and key links during the on-campus recruitment. If there are some problems identified, that such problems would be corrected immediately, and also to avoid unnecessary added restrictions. Second, we should focus on the pragmatic and continued services provided to the university graduate students to guarantee the orderly implementation of the on-campus recruitment, basically through the inspection and supervision to implement pandemic prevention and control policies. In the meantime, to provide the services to the campus and to promote accountability and implement the policies in specific and detailed ways. By doing so, we can provide strong support to the talents recruitment. Thank you. Next question.
现在请右侧区第3排第2位记者。
谢谢主持人。新京报提问，想问一下，目前我国就是新冠疫苗接种，包括加强针接种和60岁以上老年人接种的情况怎么样？谢谢。
Especially the population over the age of 60 for the booster. Thank you for your question. According to the State Council's deployment, the Health Commission continuously promote the vaccination work nationwide. By 16th of June, accumulated doses have been jabbed for 3.393119 doses, and the population received such doses more than 1.29 billion, and covering 91.66%, and also the 89.3% have completed the whole process vaccination. And the booster vaccination had already been carried out for 39.87 million, and out of which 60 years above the elderly population had finished injection for more than 231 million population, and more than 171 million elderly people have finished the vaccination. Maybe you've noticed that on the 22nd of May, campaign in the World Health Assembly, DG Tedros mentioned, although globally we've witnessed the huge declining of the infection population. However, we should not let our guard down because around the whole globe, 70 countries have reported the increasing numbers of infection population, especially in the African countries. The fatality rate and reported death numbers are on the rise, so we shouldn't let our guard down. Thank you.
第4排第2位男记者。
谢谢。南方都市报记者。部分毕业生反映有个别高校存在强迫毕业生签约就业率注水的问题。想请问教育部将采取什么样的措施来防止这种情况发生，杜绝毕业生被就业？谢谢。
Like signing and also sugarcoating of the job situation, and some students are being said to say they have found jobs, but actually not. Thank you for your question. Indeed, the job statistics is the fundamental work. The authenticity of the data is the bottom line for the job employment statistic work. Ministry of Education specifically organized a working conference to implement more stringent disciplines. There are 4 prohibitions and 3 forbiddings. 4 prohibitions include to prohibit the employers to force the graduate students to sign labor contracts, and prohibit the linkage between the university graduate certificate with the signing contracts of the job, and prohibit the fortified documents for job employment, and prohibit the witness or internship materials being used as the actual job. 3 forbidden is specific indicators being given to the universities and the faculty members, and cannot distribute those job employment numbers linked with the tutors or supervisors' performance review. In the meantime, there are some mechanisms being strengthened and mapped out. First is supervision, monitoring, feedback mechanisms. For those university graduates, they would receive the nudges or text message through the text message or WeChat, and they can report any inaccurate or illegal data to the 24365 platform, and they can be the whistleblower and report such data, fortified data. We also have provided other authoritative platforms and to report such problematic sugarcoating data and falsified data. Thirdly, we had the routine verification and validation of the data, and MOE would organize regular inspection and supervision on those employment data, and case by case, if there are any problems identified, would be resolved. Fourth is we have entrusted the third party to conduct independent survey and investigation. And 2 years ago, we have entrusted the NBS to conduct National Bureau of Statistics to have sampling check, random sampling check. By this check, we can verify the data with the data bank.
好，来请左侧区第1排考过到第1位记者。
Question.
谢谢香港中评社记者提问。
国办文件提出，在疫情严重地区实施教师资格先上岗再考证政策。教育部将如何抓好这项政策的落实
？General Office of the State Council, there's a document saying that the teachers and faculty members can be on duty first, then to pass the qualification exam. Thank you for your question. In 2020, in order to cope with the pandemic situation, the 7 line ministries, together with the Ministry of Education, had issued this policy on duty first, then the examination later.
所以针对这个情况呢，国办通知提出来，在受疫情影响严重的地区，继续实施教师资格的先上岗再考证的政策。那么这项政策呢，将为今年没有来得及考证的学生再次提供保障。那么为了贯彻国办通知的要求，教育部已经和人社部专门发了通知，把这项工作做好，就是允许在中小学、包括幼儿园还有中等职业学校的教师资格考试中，如果受疫情影响的考生，可以参加教师招聘。用人单位在2022年12月31号前招聘受疫情影响的高校毕业生的时候，不得将取得教师资格作为限制性条件。这是一个方面，对于教师资格的。另外呢，为了深化教育领域的放管服改革，按照国务院常务会的决定，今年教育部继续推进师范生免试教师资格的改革。免试认定改革，这个呢覆盖了教育类的研究生、公费师范生和部分教师教育院校的师范生。那么通过教师教育院校办学质量审核的相关专业的应届毕业生，可以享受到免试认定改革政策。那么所以下一步呢，教育部将督促各个省份按照国办通知的要求出台具体的办法，尽最大努力减少以疫情无法参加教师资格考试的对考生的影响，帮助毕业生呢能顺利就业。好，谢谢。
好，谢谢。我们最后再提两个问题，请继续提问。好，先来请左侧区第2排第3位对回应这个问题记者。
中国青年报记者提问：就当前疫情形势下，高校召开校园招聘活动会有一定规模人群和进出校园和集中活动，请问如何做好精准的疫情防控工作，然后保证校园招聘活动的安全有序开展？谢谢。
好，我们请刘培俊先生来回答这个问题。
What will be the measures adopted to ensure the safety and order in campus recruitment? Mr. Liu Peijun is taking the question. Thank you for your question. To have a targeted control of the pandemic and ensure safe and order and healthy recruitment on campus, the interagency task force put forward a policy mix requiring the universities to implement 3 jobs. First, universities must implement the regular prevention control measures on campus to ensure campus safety. On-campus recruitment will have the movement of people. The implementation of the pandemic control technical protocol is important. We must prevent people-to-people, object-to-people, or environment-to-people transmission, improve health management of personnel, improve the management of object-to-people transmission, improve the environmental disinfection, and have a safeguard of access control so as to ensure the campus recruitment is safe. At the same time, with the holistic support between the local interagency task force and relevant departments, universities must have in place an emergency response mechanism with an improved emergency response capacity and a scientifically designed emergency plan by setting up some buffer zones and the stockpile of emergency response supplies and anti-pandemic supplies improved improve the work staff training and have some exercises and drills. So once there is any pandemic, these emergency response mechanisms can be effectively initiated. Second, universities must implement the protocol of dedicated prevention control. Universities must refine the pandemic control protocol during campus recruitment and has a clear request the implementation of these control measures. If the city in which the university is located has not seen any community transmission in the past successive days, then the university can open the gates for campus recruitment. And for those universities who are not qualified as such, they should be active in organizing online recruitment. Just like other colleagues have mentioned, online and offline recruitment must be conducted in parallel so as to provide more and better opportunities to students. In regions unaffected by the pandemic, universities should implement the regular control measures and make solid efforts in conducting organizing campus recruitment. For those personnel who have to go on campus, they should present a negative NAT test certificate in the past 48 days. They must have their temperature checked and the health barcode scanned. The job fair should be organized in a well-ventilated area, better in the outside. And there should be a reasonable control of the number of personnel. Third, universities must implement the accountability during the recruitment session. The registration of the health status of everyone on the venue must be registered, and the visits of the personnel must be staggered. All people should wear masks and keep 1 meter safe distance. The job seekers must follow the requirement for the attendance badge, the stayover time, and the spacing in the quiz. And irrelevant people are not allowed to enter into the recruitment zones. The policy circular has also requested that the control measures for the campus recruitment will also be dynamically adjusted as we see further improvement of the control. Thank you. Last question for the day.
谢谢主持人。红星新闻记者提问。高校毕业生中有一部分是来自于低收入家庭的，请问教育部将采取哪些举措来帮助他们顺利就业？谢谢。
好，我们请吴爱华先生来回答最后一个问题。
好的，谢谢您的提问。这个低收入家庭的毕业生的就业是中央牵挂的重点群体，当然也是我们教育系统倍加关心、全力帮扶的重点对象，要用真心真情为他们提供有温度的指导和服务。我们呢从3个方面来做工作，一个呢专项帮扶，高校建立就业重点毕业生的台账。特别是低收入家庭、贫困家庭的学生，总书记提到的脱贫家庭、低保家庭、零就业家庭以及有残疾的学生，还有一些较长时间未就业的这些学生，要按照1人1档、1人1车的要求开展重点帮扶。教育部还明确要求，为每一名就业困难的毕业生精准推送岗位信息，至少每个人推送3到5个针对性的岗位信息。另外呢，我们知道很多的高校自筹资金为重点帮扶的学生发放就业补贴，免费的提供面试的服装等等举措，帮助他们解决就业的花销。就业指导老师和毕业班的辅导员为毕业生提供更加细致的心理疏导，更有针对性的 做好个性化的就业指导，帮助这些学生树立信心，以良好的状态积极主动的求职。第二个方面呢，就是专门的培训。刚才我介绍了，在财政部的支持下，教育部正在实施同志助行计划。对就业特别困难的学生，我们开展线上线下的就业能力的培训。在培训当中，老师们一对一的给学生修改简历、指导面试，广泛的联系企业，对学生进行重点推荐，让学生走出校门，与企业面对面的交流。通过实习实践，帮助学生提高就业能力。目前，这个红志助行计划已经线下培训2022届的毕业生6.9万人，线上培训66.8万人。接下来我们还要进一步的扩大培训的覆盖面。第三个方面是开展专场招聘。教育部会同国家开发银行、中国银行、中国青年创业就业基金共同举办红志助行网上专场招聘活动，已经累计提供岗位13.2万个。还有各地各高校也组织了一些有针对性的专场招聘活动。此外，今年特别针对疫情影响严重的地区，我们还举办了陕西、吉林、上海专场招聘活动，累计提供岗位29.9万个。
Targeted areas suffering from the pandemic, for example, in Shanxi, Jilin, Shanghai, we have organized several opportunities and provide job posts for more than 299,000. And this is the last question. And on behalf of the organizer, I want to thank all the press and media friends. We really hope you can help us to promote the job opportunities and also to have exemplary graduate students job opportunities to the whole society. Thank you. That would be all for today's questions. And during today's press conference, we have provided answers to the job opportunities for the university students. I hope all the university graduates could find their job as soon as possible, and we're going to continuously provide support to all of the graduates. That would be all for today's press conference. Thank you.